Good evening. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving holiday, and welcome to the December 1st meeting of the Belchertown Select Board. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Nicole, do we have anyone for public comment?
We do.
Okay.
Are we sure this is public comment though, or is this part of one of the appointments that we have? I think it's too
Okay, so I'm going to ask Gianna and Gina, are you here for public comment?
We're here to speak about the CADCA trip.
So no. The answer is no. They
What
just
was-
signed the wrong sheet.
Oh, okay. You're showing, okay. Thank you for signing in. Anyone online for public comment? Hearing none, I'm going to close public comment and then ask, are there any documents to sign?
Yep, we have meeting minutes from November 17th. All were present with the exception of Jen. I make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes of November 17th, 2025.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain. I'm going to abstain.
And one abstain. Guess who? Okay, there are no additions to the agenda tonight, and that brings us to appointments. And, okay, you're first tonight, okay. Jill Rossi, Town Accountant, who's here to demonstrate the Division of Local Services forecasting tool.
Gail's first on the agenda. Gail's first.
I know Gail's first.
Doesn't matter.
Are you going to duke it out?
No.
Jill's already sitting there.
No, go
It's
ahead.
fine.
You're already there. You can't, no, go.
Now you're
It's going to take me a minute to set it up, so,
Why don't we let Gail do it and you can set it up?
yeah.
Sure.
great.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Jill.
Sorry, Gail.
Thank
Oh,
you,
no,
Gail.
I didn't realize you had to sit in the hot seat.
Don't worry about it. Not a problem.
Well, welcome, Gail. It's
Thank
been a
you.
long time.
Yeah, I know you're getting tired of seeing me.
No.
Thank
Never.
you for having myself as well as, and I've got other folks with us tonight. So we're all here on behalf of the Opioid Settlement Fund Advisory Committee. Just a couple of quick things that I want to do just as follow-up from the last time I was here in early November, but then want to turn the bulk of the time to a new application that we have, and hopefully you had a chance to take a look at it. And the students are here, folks from both and the public schools. But just a couple of quick things from November 3rd meeting. I realized after the meeting that when we were talking about a variety of ways that these funds can and cannot be used, or recommended or not recommended, or allowable, non-allowable, that I probably should have done a little bit better job explaining some of the background to that. So just really quickly, and I'll send you some information that I got. After the previous meeting, I consulted with the statewide organization that advises municipalities about how to deal with their money. And some of what questions that came up at the prior meeting and come up all over the state relate to the issue of whether or not a municipality is supplanting existing funds. So when questions come up around particularly things like the use of opioid dollars, settlement dollars, for expenses that have previously been in a town's budget, there are certain questions you need to ask to be sure that a municipality is not supplanting existing funds with the opioid dollars. the Attorney General's office says supplanting is not allowed. You can't do that. So just as a way for us, and I know I'm going to even mention it at our next committee meeting, some of the kinds of questions to ask ourselves are things like, are we trying to pay for something with opioid dollars that would have been included in the municipal budget and has been included in the municipal budget in the past for previous years? Are there alternative funding sources for whatever the idea is that you're thinking about? And if there are, and if an activity or equipment or anything has been funded in the past by other sources, the expectation is you go to those other sources first. Another question to ask is not only are there alternative funding sources, but are there state agencies that already pay for this? And if so, we ought to be making sure that the municipality is not putting its dollars towards something that a state agency does. For example, we don't have to use opioid dollars for naloxone, also known as Narcan, because you get that for free from the state. So those kinds of things. And then lastly, are we trying to spend money or subsidize costs that are required by federal, state, local laws or contracts? So if they are, how have you been doing that in the past? And if you have been doing it as part of your budget, that would be considered supplanting. So just some things that I hope are helpful, just as a little bit of background. Just as a reminder, and even at our committee level, we always have to remind ourselves, the Attorney General says all of these opioid dollars must directly relate to opioid use and substance use. And we have to provide a clear justification for how spending relates to that opioid or substance use in the annual expenditure report. I will say, and maybe what I can do is send a link to Steve, but Belchertown and every other community submitted their annual report last month. It's all very transparent. There's a statewide dashboard you can go to. You can see how every community spent their money. And the dollars, what the project was, what did they feel like they accomplished, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to follow that up from our prior meeting.
Before we go on to the next thing, I just want to ask a question and make a comment.
Sure.
My question first is are the rules determined on a state level, a national level, or a combination of?
It's a good question. It mostly is our state attorney general, but our guidance, from what I understand, is very similar to most other states. So it's a little bit of both. The monies came from and go through the Attorney General's office here in our state and in other states because it was the Attorneys General of multiple states who banded together to file the lawsuits. So it's a bit of both. As a municipality, we are beholden to and have to follow our state's guidelines.
Right. I think it's interesting because I kind of knew the answer to that ahead of time because I did do some research on other communities throughout the country that were directly using their funds for things that were already in public safety budgets. But another thing that I read that I just want to share that I found really interesting was, and this was a national article that I read, but that the vast majority of the communities in this country some of them haven't even touched their opioid settlement dollars and they can't figure out how to spend them. So I almost feel like at some point it's worth bringing this to the attention of the state to say, we've got this money, we want to spend it, we don't want to lose it, and we have other things that are public safety related that we could be spending it on. So just my opinion and based on what I read.
Mm-hmm. There is still a lot of, and various webinars that I go to regularly, there is still a lot of concern about how that there are some cities and towns in Massachusetts that have not done as much as you would hope they would have done so far. At the same time, though, the Attorney General and the Department of Public Health are really clear that they want to be sure that any expenditures based on actual need, that we have consulted with, we have some kind of information background, we have partnerships with organizations that will give us an idea of what the needs are. So yes, they want communities to be moving forward, but they also want to be sure that things are justified and based on need. And that's why this statewide organization is really helpful, to run anything by them as any community is considering any way that they want to think about using these dollars.
If I could just add to that, and you won't hear me say this often, from the national level, state level, and local level, the one thing I think we agree on is that this crisis has not ended. And this is money that will directly address the needs and requirements and services that people, all kinds of people, not any particular, from the elder community that has significant rates, as well as young people and everybody else in between. And one of the ways I understand that the dollars can be spent is looking at prevention and what ways we can provide prevention programs that would benefit this specific community as well as others. So, and whatever those programs might be, whether it's, after-school programs or recreation programs or cultural programs or you name it, leadership opportunity, these are things that can better our community overall. That's it for my sermon.
Okay, no worries.
Given the time,
Yep.
because we are timing this.
I enjoyed my duty last time, so yes, we're at 9.5 minutes.
Okay, so
right.
you have 15 minutes.
I know.
If you have to go over a few more.
Just
okay.
one, the grant that we talked about last time was submitted with the town aware and the recovery center. We won't find out till February, so we'll keep you posted. Let me turn things over to some of my colleagues and the students here. I hope you had a chance to read the application. This is to send youth and adults to a great conference. And just to let you know that the committee was unanimously in favor of supporting this. So I'm going to move out of the chair and let other folks come up and talk about how they think that conference would be of value to them.
Thank you so much.
Sure, yeah, you want to come up? Students, all of you?
So in the spirit of prevention, we have an opportunity for our students to attend the CATCA conference, which is the Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America. And there is a youth track as well as an adult track. The youth have sessions and seminars just like the adults where they're learning all about substance use, prevention, awareness, education, ways to be a leader in the community, and hopefully bring that back home and be inspired to continue what they're doing. They're members of the Helping Hands group, so they're also members of BOAT. So it is the student segment of BOAT, basically. And we have about 22 students, and we have a select group here who we would like to bring, and I'm going to let them speak. If you have any questions, then
I have one, and I think the students could answer this, and that is for the members of the board, could you tell us what Helping Hands is?
Okay, so basically we're just like a student group, and we like volunteer our like time, and like we help basically do things that like support like prevention like methods with like substance like use. So we like, one of the things we do in our school is like we do like social norms. So it's like we like take surveys like every year, and it's basically we just like post around our school like how many students are actually using like drugs compared to like what like perceived. So it's like 97% like don't use like tobacco products. So it helps like give students like a better perception that like not everybody's doing it, and it helps like break down those like norms of like, well, everyone's doing it. That's just like an example of like some of the things we do.
Are those results that we could see? I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Good afternoon, and thank you for giving us this chance to speak. We're grateful for the opportunity to attend CADCA this year. Our goal going in is to learn new and effective strategies to prevent substance misuse.
We plan to bring the valuable knowledge back to our school and our community, and by sharing what we learn, we hope to spread awareness and support our peers. Together, we're aiming to make a positive and lasting impact on our community.
Wait a minute, not so fast. You can sit down if you want. So, do you have questions? I have a couple.
Sure. Well, first of all, so I work with students at the college level, and I think it's really important that you get opportunities like this, especially if you bring it back to your community. So what is the plan? How are you going to then bring this back and educate your peers?
I mean, there's a lot of things we can do to bring back to our peers, but that's the reason why we're going, to find out different ways to bring stuff back to our peers and just like help our peers realize that what they're doing isn't normal, and just help them find like help and helping and making us good resources for them to come to and get resources and stuff like that.
And if the adults have additional things they want to add to that?
For them to bring back to our community?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when they come back, I mean, it's an amazing conference. There's probably about 4,000 people that go there, and so tons of youth. And it's great for the youth because they could go and do their own track. There are key essentials for prevention that Aline, as the advisor, will attend with the youth at those times. But they are learning leadership skills, presentation skills, those types of things that they're going to bring back, but also scientific evidence-based programming is what they're going to really be learning about, and how to implement that within our school system in our district. So, and not just that, but also into the community.
And so, are you going to?
I am not.
Okay.
No, I have been many times in the past.
So there's an adult track too?
Yes.
And will you be learning the same thing?
No, we don't. We usually split up and do different workshops, so we get the most out of it,
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the real burning question. I'm looking at the leaders who do this. And so tell me how this conference is going to be different than what I know your expertise brings to this area.
Well, this particular conference has like 4,000 attendees. So it's basically the hub of where all the coalitions in the country meet and they learn. It's like, it's like our little school, like we come home with new ideas and we always learn something new. And the other piece to this is they will be able to meet other student groups who do the same thing. And they don't really have that opportunity now. They're doing great things, but as far as,
This is building community.
right, and,
Okay.
and ideas and,
Yep. And sharing best practices.
and confidence in what you're doing.
Also, 3 years ago, we received the Blue Ribbon Award from Community Anti-Drug Coalition of America, where I presented at the conference too. Some of the policy changes that we've done, and that information was actually taken and put on the CDC website. If you go to the CD website under Drug-Free Community Success Stories, we are on there. So a lot of the work that we do, and that, this whole program was new when I got on board here. So for the adults going to that conference, it was key because we're learning about what other people are doing in other communities. So I'm going to tell you, probably one of the best coalitions across the country right now because of the amount of work that we do and that we're so connected within the community and giving these students and youth the opportunity to make those connections across the country is so key. And they're learning the new trends that are out there too, that are affecting youth. For example, we have the DEA there. That's one example. And, they give us the current information. Like, for example, last year, 11 million fake pills were seized by the DEA, 12,000 pounds of fentanyl, equivalent to 243 million fake pills. It's very important for us to know this information so we can educate our students. We're not a Just Say No program. It failed across the country, DARE did. So it's all about scientific evidence-based programming. And so 7 out of 10 fake pills are actually fatal. So we know that kids experiment. And so having our youth being able to talk to their peers about this too, not just coming from the adults, because a lot of times it's more effective coming from your peer group, right? And so having them be able to talk to their peers about some of these new, risks and trends, I'm just using that as one example, it can save lives, literally save lives.
Yeah, and this is the wrap up for this, because I know we're
18 minutes.
Yeah. So don't hear, I'm like, well, why go to this conference? Because that's not it at all. It is really looking at how you bring this information back and disseminate it throughout the community, certainly starting with the schools, but beyond the schools, how do we do that? And how do we develop a data sheet that says this is what we did, this is where we started, this is what we did, do we see, it's very hard to capture prevention, I get it, but what behaviors do you see? And I know it takes time, but I think, to Whitney's point and mine, it's like it's all good, but that's just the beginning, and what kind of support are you, the adults, going to give so that the students, can really carry the work out, and how do we build, a bigger coalition so that the students that can't go also feel that they can join in the effort. I think it's fantastic. But come back, disseminate. Jen, anything?
I'm just curious. So I'm just looking at the costs. So if you guys want to go back in future years, how will you keep looking at the opioids? And are there other options for?
Yeah, well, the notice of funding just came out for drug-free communities again. As you realize, year 1 and year 6, the new applicants got put on hold for the year. The application is due by April 14th, I believe. And so when I do it, I do the grant. So when I do the grant, I always try to write in money for the students into that.
Great.
Honestly, I don't think we'd have enough money to send 5 youth through the drug-free communities grant, so we'd have to probably have some type of supplement to that, or another grant, which there are grants that are coming out that we can look at. So,
Whitney, any other questions? No.
No, the only thing that I had, which I think my question was answered, was I was initially wondering why 3 chaperones to a child. That I heard from you, Chris, that you adults have your own track. So there is a purpose. You're not just chaperones. So with that, I fully support this. I think it's great.
What grade are you in?
We're both in 11th for both juniors.
So is there any thought of how you're going to reach 9th grade leaders, 10th grade leaders, 12th grade leaders?
Yeah, so as Aline, you've grown this program amazingly. So just having these guys step up and be the leaders of the group, we have over 20 students this year, which is, it just keeps growing and growing. And I do want to address something you said about how do you measure prevention. We do a preventative needs assessment survey every 2 years in our district. I get the statistics back from that. I develop a logic model out of it, and I look at what the big issues are. Okay, youth drinking. Well, how what is the local condition on that? When we look at the statistics, they're getting it from their big brothers or big sisters, or they're getting it from local access. And that's what I did with the tobacco. when we got the award for the tobacco and doing environmental scans and getting all the tobacco retailers up 100% of compliance. Because when I did environmental scans in the beginning, every single store out was out of compliance with the signage, Massachusetts state requirements. So I worked with them for a year on getting them educated. But these are the things that we learn when we're there. So we're looking, but I use that statistic.
I'd love to see it. And
to do that.
just because of the interest of time, I would really love to
Your
see,
email to all of us.
yeah.
You know, I could put together a presentation for you guys,
That'd be
for
great.
sure. That I'm actually going to a meeting in Northampton for CES, because we're all part of the PNAS survey, and we are analyzing it on Friday. So-
CES,
Collaborative for Educational Services.
okay. There's a lot of, you know,
I know a lot of acronyms. They
Just
do
like
the
to know it.
survey countywide.
okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think it's great.
To vote?
Thank
We
you.
have to
So
say
are we gonna
yes.
vote on
We have
this?
to Do a thing?
we
Do we make a
have-
You need us
motion?
to
You
vote?
have,
Okay.
yes,
I
you
make
have
a
to take
motion
vote.
that we approve the use of the opioid settlement funds in the amount of $14,530 for sending 5 youth and 3 adult advisors to the CADCA National Leadership Forum.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who seconded that?
Nicole did.
Take lots of pictures.
Yes, lots of pictures.
Yeah, come back and give us or add that in your report. I'd love to get more. Jill, I wonder if you could come up now. I wonder
Thank
if
you,
you wouldn't
guys.
mind.
Thank you.
Bye now. Thanks for coming in.
So follow the boat page, that's where the pictures will be,
Yes,
correct?
that's where the
Right.
pictures.
Oh, yeah.
The boat
Yeah, you go to the
Of
vote
course.
Facebook page, it'll
Of
be all
course.
over that.
I just like to give it a bigger amplifier if we can.
Should I time this next item? Yeah, go for it. Just
How long
time,
will this
time
take?
everything.
How long will this take? She's gonna put the timer on.
It's
I'm
we
very soft
we
with
gave
my
her 30
timer.
minutes, 15 minutes for
And
the
yeah, they got almost
talk.
21.
Steve said she didn't even need that much. So, and then 15 minutes for questions.
Half an hour?
Tops.
Tops.
I'm going to go relatively quickly, and you can ask questions
gonna
as
say.
we go.
Can't guarantee our behavior.
Talk to me like I'm 2.
Okay. I did give you all of the handouts, and I wrote a little summary of exactly what the financial forecasting looks like and does. So we have in front of us historical data from FY21 through FY26 regarding revenues, expenditures,
Pardon me.
and so on, budgets, enterprise funds, community preservation funds, all of it for each year. I want to clarify or point out that as you look at these columns in the grand totals, these numbers come from what went into the tax rate. So once the tax rate is set, so our tax rate has been set now, anything for FY26, so if we have a special town meeting in February and May, those would also be in this FY26
Right.
column. Because all of that needs to be blended together in order to set the tax rate. It's all of the appropriations that have been approved by town meeting and assessments that are necessary against the funds that are available, and that's how we come up with the tax rate, basically,
So the special town meeting we just had,
is in this.
it is.
Because we set the tax rate after that
Okay.
town meeting.
But not anything that would happen this coming May.
Correct.
Okay.
But last May's special town meeting that handled FY25 will show in the FY26 column. I know it's clear as mud, but I just don't want you to look at these totals and say, well, this isn't what we voted. And I want you to understand why. It is what we voted, but not just at annual.
So it is what we voted on. last May,
Mm-hmm.
and it includes the special town meeting
Yes.
in the fall that we
May
just
and the
had.
fall.
That's, yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
That's in the FY26 column.
All right, that's
Um,
clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a big
Or
thing.
I'm saying that right now.
Yes. That was a big stumbling block for me because in my mind, the fiscal year is the fiscal year and it's the fiscal year budget.
Yeah.
And it was hard to wrap my head around that was not what was going to be here. I was trying to make it fit what I wanted instead of what it was intended to be. Anyway, the trend, so this gives you historical trends. The trend information can be used as part of the budget projection process with consideration for anomalies that may have caused fluctuations or in revenue or expenditures from year to year. If you look at the FY21, the pandemic had a lot of effect on FY21.
Sure.
So, those are the things that we have to look at. And those are the things, when we have an income and expense balance for the budget, this is very similar to that. It's all of the information is there. So I'm not going to go through numbers. Go ahead.
Is the 9.2% total expenditures percentage change for FY26 because of the override?
Correct.
Okay.
So with that, I'm going to, the summary page is similar to the income and expense, and then we're going to go to the next page. So revenues and expenditures are shown on the summary page, which is the first page of your packet. The second page is the summarized revenue projections. So there are four main categories of revenue for the town.
I'm going back to the general fund first page.
Okay.
So the total revenue percentage change just in 4 years more than doubled, right?
We had an override in FY26.
I'm talking about 24. From
That was the pandemic, right?
2021, we had 1.8, 2.0, 0.7, and then 4.4.
I'm trying to look at what that.
And I'm not asking this to catch you on anything.
I
I
don't-
just noticed that and went,
it is
hey.
correct, I'm certain of it, and maybe
then it
when we
went
go-
down.
Then when we go through the revenue that I'm about to do,
Okay.
we can compare notes as
Okay.
to what category that
Okay.
looks like it's in.
I think it dropped because of the school construction.
Because of what?
The school construction.
MSBA school construction was,
Okay.
There's also a big jump in the available funds. Was that ARPA funds or anything possibly?
The available
Would be,
funds
yes.
at FY26, we included $325,000 from stabilization. That's part of it. Again, we'll go to the revenues section.
Yeah, that just jumped out, so.
It's okay. So you'll see we have four main sources of revenue: property tax levy, state aid, estimated local receipts, which is motor vehicle excise and rentals and permits, so on and so forth, and then available funds / other financing sources. Free cash and other available funds are included in that category, which refers back to that front page, the top of the front page.
So I'm sorry, are you on page 2?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So in each of these each of these categories also has a breakdown, which will follow this page in your packet.
Okay.
So we can look at, we'll go to property tax levy first.
So that page 2 is a roll-up,
Yes.
and then,
Page
Three
three
is-
gets into the detail.
okay.
you can see that the override is included in the FY26. Everything else is blank there. You have the new growth numbers for the last 6 years, the 2.5 increase. So that carries over. So it's always the 2.5 increase is our projected, along with some amount of new growth. And that comes from the assessors. And they start off very conservatively until they start to go through their data, and then they up it throughout the process.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense to you? So new growth, debt exclusion. So that kind of takes care of taxation.
I have another question.
Go.
So FY 23, 24, 25, 26, why do those all say projected? Like, why wouldn't FY 23 be?
They should say budget. I just
Oh,
didn't
okay.
change
Good.
the top. Those
But
are
not,
all
should FY 26 say projected? though?
correct. No, it's all budgeted because that is where our tax rate recap, or that number came from the tax rate recap, which has been authorized and certified.
So it should say budget across the tour.
May I ask a question too? And I'm sorry, we'll be here all night. But going back to page 2, other available funds, I see 2.3 million roughly. But then the override on page 3 is 2.8. Is that because we're not taking into account that $500,000?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's excess capacity.
Right.
It's $559,921 of the override we did not write into this tax year.
Firefighters.
Right. And that will be in
Et cetera.
fiscal 27.
Yeah, there was
Three
an
items.
ambulance
We had-
piece,
yeah.
Firefighters.
firefighters, and
Grant
grant
writer.
writer.
Okay.
Which our grant writer, I'm probably speaking out of turn, but we probably won't need to take the entire amount, even for FY27, because we had the vacancy. There
Right.
will be
Oh, yeah, of
funds
course.
available
Right.
toward that, so we'll only use half-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We move on to state aid, which is the cherry sheet,
We're on page 3.
page 4. It says state aid and assessments, top left. You can see the progression. School choice receiving is most of the increase between FY25 and 26. That school choice is funds that go toward our schools directly because of kids coming in. The kids coming in on school choice.
Okay.
There's payment that goes directly to the schools for their direct use. There's no appropriation required.
I'm going to ask a naive question. Does Belchertown benefit from having school choice overall from a fiscal standpoint? If that was a sticky wicket, this is
a little
innocent.
bit of a sticky wicket. If you look at the state assessment, which is the third little clump,
Yeah.
really the second clump, versus the school choice receiving tuition. So the receiving tuition goes directly into a fund for the school department to use for their operating expenses and so on. The school choice sending tuition, so it nets out at $400,000 or so to the good, the money
Yeah.
coming in. That sending tuition is part of the state assessments that we take off the top of the revenue available. So state assessments, when you look at I'm correlating this to the budget to make
Yeah.
it kind of hopefully make sense. So the state assessments include all of what you see in that group under the state assessments. That includes school choice and charter schools, which is born before we come to the bottom line of our revenue. So it defrays what we have for revenue overall.
Okay.
I have a question if you're done.
Steve, you look like you're going to say something.
No, it's a good question. And it's come up in the past. I think the numbers do show that it benefits the town slightly.
It does benefit the town.
And I think that the question needs to continue to be asked, just to make sure that it continues to benefit the town.
Okay. But at this point, it benefits the town.
It benefits the town in the respect that more money is coming in on school choice than is going out on school choice.
Yeah.
Does that cover the cost of having those students in the schools? I can't tell you that.
Right.
That's not
Oh,
something I
it
know.
doesn't? Or we don't know?
Well, it's not.
In the school budget.
It's not part of the per pupil, like it doesn't correlate to the per pupil expenditure,
Okay.
but some of that is already happening.
Okay.
It's very, it's a little bit complex.
Right.
Whitney, do you have any insight on this?
Well, they can't ask, what a student's needs are, and they may not even know. So when they accept a student by lottery, they can't say for sure what that student will cost the district. So,
Okay.
right, the student may have no special.
In terms of they're on an IEP. or
I
not.
see. Okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
I have a non-school question.
Mine is still school related. Can we stay on topic
can
for
we
just
stay
a
on
minute?
If you would like to, but I don't want to lose my question. Go ahead.
So it sounds like I lost it.
No.
All right, so let me go back and ask my other question. So so it went from FY25 to FY26 is that 3% increase, and I'm attributing it to the Chapter 70 aid going up quite a bit from previous years, and the school choice in funds that we're receiving. So I think it's interesting, that's what I was going to say. I think it's interesting that school choice in is getting us more money even in declining student enrollment.
Yeah, I was struck by that
was
also.
one big point I want to just make. But why the bump in Chapter 70? Is that because and I know this is a school question, but from a financial perspective, do we know what the bump is from the Chapter 70?
The Chapter 70 aid formula is really convoluted. It's based on the relative wealth of the community, population, all of these different factors, and so I cannot answer that question.
Okay.
You know what?
It's just-
It's okay.
It's okay. The only point that I was trying to make is that I've been hearing over the past year and a half that Chapter 78 is decreasing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to hear from a financial perspective if there was a reason for why we keep hearing that from the school side.
I mean, the direct number is quoted here. So it's not decreasing. Is it decreasing versus what the increase in costs is?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Right.
But the number itself is increasing
Thank you.
at this time.
It might not be at the rate which is going to cover
Right.
the cost of educating. Okay.
Go ahead,
All
Jen.
right.
Sorry.
Jen?
State-owned land, that is really flat. And don't we have a large chunk of state-owned land in our community?
Yes,
Okay,
and it's very flat.
Yeah,
very
so-
flat.
What do you mean flat?
It has an
And
increase.
there's not a lot of increase, there's not a lot of change in what we receive from the state for the land that they own, which means we can't tax it.
Yeah, we get payments in lieu of taxes.
So should we be getting more as market values go up?
Well, that's one argument. Our legislators are currently working to try to increase compensation for the Quabbin land in particular,
Right.
and the impacts that has had.
But this is not the Quabbin land.
No, we own, there's a lot
It
of
is-
state-owned land.
It is partly.
Everything is in here.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is?
So,
Okay.
when we look at the Quabbin land, from a development standpoint, Belchertown has a certain percentage of development currently, and if we were to take all the land in the Quabbin and use that same percentage, it works out to about $9 million in tax revenues that we're not gaining from
Wow.
but it would have to be developed, and there would be other impacts with expenses.
sure.
So it's hard to say that, $9 million wouldn't just go to the schools.
Right.
The financial impacts of the Quabbin on this region have been tremendous.
Yeah.
And it's as easy as looking at the Route 2 corridor and the Route 9 corridor. And when you look at Belchertown and Ware and the communities along Route 9, and when you go to Orange and you look at Athol and
Cut off.
Leominster, and you look at how developed those communities are, everything in between,
It's cut
there's
off.
nothing there.
Because you can't get to it.
Right, there's no east-west connection anymore.
Right.
So our legislators,
There will be.
Aaron and Jake have been working very hard to try to rectify this problem, but it's not gaining a lot of traction. So,
I'm just thinking in general, like the entire east end of our town is all state-owned. Like
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just
No,
bringing
that's
that up.
That's good.
Well, the Lamson Brook Farm is also state-owned.
State-owned, that entire
That's
parcel.
several hundred acres. So,
It's valid, it's really good to bring it up because we all need to keep all of these things in mind as we budget and as we talk with our legislators and so on and so forth. And the community.
Right.
It's good for the community to know what's happening.
Yeah. I mean, just while we're pointing things out, I know you know this also, but also public libraries, obviously, they lost a little bit, and it's been very flat year over year as well. But I know our legislatures are working hard on that.
It has been fairly flat. And that, again, where it's, as it says offset, that is money that goes directly into a fund for the library's
Right.
direct use without appropriation by town meeting.
Right. This is from the cherry sheet. This is from the state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just to,
Right.
be clear about
Yes.
all of it. So we'll move over to,
Okay, can you back up a minute? I thought you were going to.
I thought we were going down to state
I'm
assessments.
sorry. I know this is not what you wanted this to be.
I'm fine. This is what I expected it to be. so
Regional
good.
transit, 24 to 25. What
That's
happened there?
huge. 86,000
that was a Worcester
to
connector, right?
141.
That was what, Steve?
What? Yeah.
That's mostly PVTA, and there was a big jump in their assessments, and part of that was due to a Worcester connector that goes from Amherst to Worcester and back through Belchertown.
Yes.
Okay.
We do get some funding back from UMass on that.
Okay.
So last year we received $72,000 out of 141, so about
So
half.
there's a bus that goes from Amherst to Worcester by way of Belchertown?
And that also picked up the courthouse route as well.
Which was huge.
Yeah.
Do we publicize that? I've heard on the socials, it's like, I don't know, I'm rare. Like, not a whole lot
That's
of,
the PVTA's,
that's their job?
yeah, I would assume. I mean, we could try to find the bus route schedule and post it on the website.
Yeah, I think that would be great. Because I know there's a lot of grumbling that we don't have a lot of bus routes here.
And remind me, do we get money for the courthouse being in our town? Do we get revenue for that?
That is privately owned. It's leased to the state. So yes, I believe we get tax money for that.
Tax money.
Yeah.
No,
But we don't get
not from
anything
the
else from
state.
it. It's just it's just real estate tax.
I'd love to know how many kids are on that bus to Worcester.
It does it stop here?
I don't know what the ridership is.
College kids,
Oh, I
sorry,
see.
college kids.
I don't think
I mean, it's just a big
it
jump in
stops
money
here.
for, how many people are really getting on that bus? For
Well,
you
that's
guys?
not all of it, though. Some of it was just expenses, like everybody else. Insurance is up, wages are up,
So the other thing I'm noticing under special education is, wow, is that fluctuating? From 2272 to 7438 to 1597 to nothing to 565, and now what's going on there?
I honestly do not know what that funding is for. Sometimes we have it, sometimes we don't. It's a small amount, and I just do not know what that is for.
like
Comes
a
on the
whiteboard
cherry
question.
sheet. and I
Okay.
put it in my-
Just like the Chapter 70 formula would be a good question for a tri-board meeting. Let,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
let Mark
Okay.
and Brian explain that.
Thank you, that's good.
Foundation spending would be another good question.
I'm just taking advantage of you being here.
You know, it just when I see those kinds of fluctuations, it's like, you know. Okay,
And it's knowledge that the board should have, so when you're working with our legislators, you can,
yeah.
you know, petition for more funding
Yep.
and explain why.
Yeah, the school choice. Okay.
Okay, we're on to local receipts. So exciting!
This is exciting.
So you'll see local receipts, there are 2 pages there. One is budgeted, and FY26 says projected, but it's budgeted because the recap is done. Things are a little bit fluid. It's pretty similar, but things are a little bit fluid until the recap
Yeah,
gets completed and approved. Because there are limitations on how much we are able to say, oh, we're going to receive this much more, you know, a substantial amount more than the previous year. And we need to be able to justify why. Not
Now
just
you
because
do.
not just because we think so. So sometimes, whereas the numbers, when we're doing the budget, the final numbers for the previous year are not done. So sometimes that moves around a little bit, but it generally stays about the same amount.
and we
do you have
generally
questions on that?
we generally know by January, February?
What we're going to estimate?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
better.
Yes.
It's not going to be exact.
No, and it'll move a little bit as time goes on. It just depends. When I am projecting, I use historical numbers
Yeah.
and what is going on, everything that I know to put in the current number, the expected number.
And we appreciate that.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
So the second page of this, and I think you've all seen basically all of these items because they're almost verbatim the income and expense, the income section of the income and expense.
What is the difference between the first page of local receipts and the second page?
That's where I'm going next. The
Oh, sorry,
second
sorry.
page is actuals. You'll see there's no FY26 actuals because we're not done. So those are the actual receipts for the year, for the full fiscal year. for
Why
local
is it
receipts.
important for us to see budgeted on the first page and actual on the second page?
I am giving you what the
Yeah, this is what we
DLS
put.
report
Yeah.
contains.
And
So
that's a good
I just gave you
idea.
all of the information that they have reported.
Okay.
You want to have what's budgeted as to.
No, I just
and-
want to understand if there's
Okay.
another reason that.
No, but you can see, you know, where we are versus where we budgeted. And
Yeah.
so
How we did.
in that respect, that's valuable. Okay.
How close were you? Just looking really quick back and forth.
We are over. So if you look at the last line in the actuals,
No.
FY 20,
By 21, they were short.
yeah, FY 25, we were in excess by $958,000.
So this is part of what makes up free cash. That's why it's important to show you that.
Yeah.
Because there's a misconception oftentimes that free cash is money that we didn't spend, that we didn't need. And that's not the case. It's a portion of free cash. But what free cash is a lot of that is revenues that came in over and above projected. The last thing we need to do is project revenues and come up short, because then we had to cut budgets,
Yeah,
and
that's
that hurts.
Okay.
So projections are always going to be conservative. And that extra money at the end of the year goes into free cash. The free cash is not a waste. because we use it for our stabilization fund, our capital improvement planning, we roll it some into next year's budgets. It has a purpose. And the DLS is actually wanting us to have a larger free cash number every year, not smaller. So even though these numbers look pretty big, it's not what the DLS wants. And that's in the 25 update when you read that.
But even so, it's under 10,000. That it went over? Or did I get that wrong?
Under 10,000 that it went over.
She's talking about FY '25,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh.
Actual over budget is 958,247.
Oh. Okay, I take that back. All right.
Yeah. But again, it's, when you look at that, don't think of it as a big number, because the DLS is saying it's still not enough. Believe it or not, they want more free cash.
Yeah.
They don't want us to rely on it in our operating budgets, but they want us to have more free cash every year.
Yeah, but they also want us to have
means they want you to, like, be
stabilization. They
more
want us to have
conservative.
everything.
Spend the money
You know?
on the other stuff.
And by really, if we're going to say, oh, we're going to try to have 10% of budget as free cash, or 7%, I think they say 7% of budget is free cash. So now, this is going to be a little controversial, but we've overtaxed our people.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
reality.
we have. And they're
If we're trying, look, we've cut our budgets and underestimated our revenues correspondingly in order to hit this, in my mind, arbitrary 7%. And so we have not done right by our departments, nor have we done right by our taxpayers.
I will say we're not the only town that's experiencing this. I mean, this is, towns are under stress right now.
Yeah, so therefore, it is my opinion on that topic that we continue to do what we're doing, to be fair to our departments and to our taxpayers. I think a giant bunch of free cash looks nice on paper, but it's not the end-all be-all. It doesn't outweigh, for me, the taxpayer and the departments.
I mean, because we've started to really invest in, in our other funds, we were able to at least be able to borrow off it. I mean, it's a balancing act.
Correct.
Absolutely is.
And yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with Jill. I just want to make sure we're all aware that according to the DLS, that number's low. We look at it as a big number, but
Right.
Well, stabilization
It's
is
probably
low.
a
I mean,
good
they
number.
they have a lot of,
yeah, it's probably a good number where it should be.
Yeah.
All right. We, as a community, are really in good shape in comparison to a lot of the other communities in our area, and we have been. We have been really fiscally responsible all these years.
I think that what happened with the health insurance is a perfect example of
Yeah.
that,
Right, it
because
really
there
is.
are communities that are just, they don't know what they're going to do. And we had the
We have a
solution.
plan
Yep.
immediately, because
But that plan that was only implemented 3 years ago. So and we're still not anywhere where we want to be.
as far
So,
as,
Free cash policy.
yeah.
oh, okay.
The
I'm sorry.
percentages.
But anyway,
Yeah, that's a
Keep
whole other
going.
topic, but we're not gonna go back
Yeah.
down that rabbit
No.
hole. The following is available funds, which is probably a more interesting ball of wax. So on this available funds worksheet, you'll see, we'll see what free cash was appropriated for. So some of it went to the reserve fund. Some of it went to the stabilization fund. It's all broken down here. Current year purposes, that went into the budget. That includes the $500,000 for the capital. No, I'm sorry, it does not. Current year purposes, and then special projects, the capital is next, the $420,000. We put money into OPEB. So that is our total for free cash, and that's the breakdown of where it went.
does this include the money that came out for the health insurance in 26?
Because the 325 is.
It does not, because that came from stabilization, and this section is free cash.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm in the next section under stability. Wait,
The next section is stabilization.
Yeah.
If you look at the, and I'm just going over FY26 because it's just a simpler way to go over it. You'll see from stabilization funds to the general fund, $325,027.
is
Okay.
that it?
That's for the.
Yes, it's that gray
Okay.
general line.
So what is the budgetary transfers?
So you know what PEG is, receipts reserved for appropriation is ambulance and so on. Overlay surplus,
Okay.
the assessors approved a transfer out of overlay because there was a surplus. The overlay covers any abatements and exemptions. That's part of the tax setting process.
Okay.
Budgetary transfers are when we say, okay, we're going to take from the town accountant's wage and put it into the town manager's expense account. That's those in-fund
Okay.
transfers.
Okay.
Okay?
So that included the health insurance, that's why it's such a big number for FY26.
Was it 325?
Yes. Yes, that's why, yes. When we're looking at the totals, correct.
Right, right.
Did the PEG,
And the budgetary transfers were a higher amount in the town meetings that have happened, which partly was the health insurance.
Okay. Because it's higher than the health insurance.
And it's gonna
Right.
grow, because in May of '26, we're gonna make transfers,
Okay.
close out the end of the year.
Right.
So
Right.
this is prematurely large, because we had a town meeting in November,
All right.
Yes.
November,
Okay.
October.
October. We had an October and a May.
Right.
October and May.
Okay.
And those are just budgetary to-froms. We're switching this to this account, and it's all general fund money.
question on the PEG? Because there's nothing in 21 to 23, and then it jumps from 25 to 26.
The PEG.
So the 25 to 26 number is a result of the new contract.
The new
in
contract,
place.
that's
I
great.
don't know why 21 through 23 is missing.
I don't know why the 21 through 23 is missing. I missed that. Apparently, it's in the other side, I believe, but not there.
Oh, we
Does
did
that
well
throw
on
off
that
the
contract.
numbers?
Huh?
Does that throw off the numbers because it's not up?
It would increase those numbers at the bottom slightly,
Yeah.
by about 75,000. It was very
Yeah,
consistent.
60.
Okay.
It was generally 68 to 72
Okay.
those years.
And what's this sorry, not to like beat a dead horse. We signed the new contract, and how long does that contract now go for?
That was a 10-year contract.
Sweet.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah.
Did the select
But
board-
it's also, it's a percentage of revenue.
Of the revenue, right, from the
So-
subscribership, so.
Yeah, people are switching to streaming
I
services.
know.
and-
I know, that's why I was shocked that it went up so high. I was like, wow.
And I think
We
that's
had a-
something we're going to have to address.
We had a first year influx, right?
Yes.
Some sort of a
Oh, we transferred some ARPA for the,
Yeah.
no? For-
No, the first year influx from signing the contract, we got,
Oh.
Is there retro?
right? Didn't we get some sort of a little
I don't think there was a
signing
signing bonus,
or-
no, it was strip revenue.
Interesting.
But we know that, BCTV is a very important part of our community.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if these revenues drop off, we're going to have to look for other sources.
Yeah, thanks.
Probably general fund sources
Well, we'll cross that bridge.
to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen all across the state kind of
Right.
relatively at the same time, so hopefully they'll come out with grants in order to keep
Exactly.
those services going. It goes down to total operating budget, free cash certified amount, general stabilization fund balances are under that. So as of June 30th, our stabilization fund balance was $2,236,910.
I'm just, again, looking at how much our total operating budget has gone up from 2021 to 2026.
The expenditures section will speak to that.
Right, right.
I
Everything's
just
more
have one question
expensive.
before we.
That's why I gave you all the backup.
No, this is cool.
So that you can,
helpful.
you know,
Yeah.
afterwards when you're like, what did she say about that? You can look. And
Oh, I like it.
see
This is great.
So with our free cash policy, we split it between stabilization, OPEB, and capital, right?
Right.
Where's capital on here? Like
That
where?
was the 420 that was up above.
Yeah. Up on top, you see the free cash section.
Special
Which
projects.
page are you on?
On the same page, the available funds page,
420. Oh, okay.
you see
Capital, yep, got it.
that whole section breaks down where the free cash went.
Got it.
So-
And you'll see the total was
Yep.
1743,892, which was our total appropriate, our total certified free cash for
Capital
this year.
improvement plan,
So the capital was 421,000.
40 minutes, oh, 38 minutes.
And
38 minutes.
500,000 coming out of the general fund budget that was part of the override.
There's only 3 pages.
So last year, we spent 921,000 on capital.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
This year.
This year, yeah, FY '26.
Yes.
I do think, I might be jumping ahead a little bit,
Okay.
but we do need, when we get into the budget season this year, we should be thinking about a borrowing article,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
because we've been using our debt payment for
Right.
general operating expenses, which makes it very hard to get back.
To get that money.
Well,
back.
isn't that one of the recommendations as well?
Yeah.
So-
It was.
So I think when we look at these capital numbers, the 900,000, you know, that 500,000 that's in the operating budget for capital, some of that could be used for
Debt
borrowing,
service.
for debt service, as long as it's spent on capital.
And it's really, I feel, you know, that it's really important that we do that. Because as our debt service dwindles, where are we gonna start getting the money for it when we do borrow? And it will allow us to kind of catch up with
And where
things.
does that money come from? It's not a debt, is it coming from a debt exclusion or from existing revenue that we're going to be bringing in with the regular tax?
It depends on whether you vote a debt exclusion for
A
a
big
project
extent.
and or whatever.
Okay, but right now, as of this
would be-
moment, we have no intention of a debt exclusion, right?
No, I think our intent right now would be to use general fund operating expenses to cover some debt. The debt exclusion is another form of an override.
It's just to keep it built into the budget, I think is what I'm hearing. So that we don't like start using some of that money for other purposes and then not have it available when we need it.
Yeah.
As a possibility to that end, over time, at some point, we could create a stabilization fund for capital, specifically for capital. So say our debt service is down, but we want to set aside the money, we could appropriate money into that separate stabilization fund if we so chose, in order to kind of keep us in that arena as far as having the funds set aside. Plus, it would also allow us to have money toward capital.
And does that help with our credit rating if we do that?
Potentially. I'm not an expert on that.
Just spitballing. What percentage do you think? Just
Just
trying to see what's in your mind.
Haven't even thought about it. But I think, you know, the 500,000 would be good to put toward debt service. But say we didn't have time to put a package together in the FY27, we could conceivably set aside. I'm not suggesting that we do, but it is possible to set aside those funds into a stabilization fund for capital. We would have to have that authorized at town meeting. We would have to create
course.
the account through town meeting.
No, I just wanted to.
I'm just throwing out possibilities while we're
Yeah,
on the topic.
and that's all I wanted, just to, where you sit, what do you think?
Did my alarm bell go off 3 times?
Yeah, it's, we need to widen down.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
I
at
don't wanna-
42 minutes, but
So the
we keep
following-
asking you questions, though.
Yeah, it's okay. The following group of pages is the expenditures. It's broken down by general government, public safety, education, yada, 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 as we do with the income and expense at budget time. So you can look you'll see that the FY25 budget, I didn't pull out personal services versus expenses. I'm noticing the blank there, but that's the expenses of 2.4 is the total personal services and expenses for general government for FY25. This is where you can kind of analyze to see where increases came from.
What are personal services?
It would be salaries and wages and that.
So is it personal or personnel?
It says personal. They have personal services.
Okay,
That is not my language.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Again-
it does seem like it would be more intuitive if it was
Personnel.
personnel instead
Yeah,
of personal.
just
but-
seems like it. But again, quite a jump from 21 to 22 to 23 and 24. And why is there no 2025?
because I just didn't split that out.
Oh, okay.
The total is in expenses. 22 to 20.
But it went up over almost 4 times.
Backwards there.
Yeah, they're,
Backwards.
this needs to be, there's some typos here. They're backwards.
Are they?
21 and
If you-
22, the expenses are
if
the
you look-
personnel. It's just flipped.
It's flipped.
Then it makes more
Yeah,
sense.
We can
Yeah.
update this and get you a clean copy.
Okay, so
I'm
that,
going to process this.
Yeah.
that's fine. Now we're practicing for tri-board. Okay, so we'll revisit that then.
Okay. So that's where you can kind of analyze and see what's gone up and what's gone down over the years. And I think the last page of that, so the last page of the packet is probably the most, I'm going to call it interesting. It's not the standard, not the standard items as you see on the income and expense as in general fund and public safety and so on. These are the other items that come in on town meetings. So you see one of the expenses is the reserve fund,
You're looking at the last
the
page?
last page.
I don't see reserve fund.
It's the first line.
First line, reserves
That's why you
and
don't see.
miscellaneous.
It's literally the first. You're not on the right.
I'm not,
You
I'm
don't
on the
have it
last
right.
page.
That is not the last.
We're not actually on the last page.
No, this is the actual last page. You took your thing apart.
I did
so
take
now-
my thing apart. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll get you a new one.
Sorry.
So it's the
see it.
first page. It's the first one.
Thank you.
We'll have to put staples in the expense
She
line
she
somewhere.
did have it stapled.
I did.
She
I got
took it apart.
excited and I took it
This was
apart.
a person.
This was a
and chair
choice.
problem. not-
Okay, here we go.
I like to staple them because I get everything mixed.
Yeah.
So the reserve fund
Yep,
is the first reserve. Miscellaneous, if you see the $5,100, that is the cemetery lot development and assessors law account, which are separate articles in the town meeting.
Yep.
When you look at the bottom of that, she's yawning, so I'm trying to go fast.
Oh no, just
At the bottom of
keep going.
that is other. I inserted unclassified.
Okay.
Okay. You see there's OPEB under FY23 in that grouping.
yeah.
We had excess funding, and I can't tell you where or why off the top of my head right now, but we took money from the general fund versus taking out of free cash or anywhere else. Just, we transferred money into OPEB because we had extra for some reason.
Okay.
State assessments sit there so that they're accounted for. Any deficits that are raised on the recap. So if we have a deficit in a grant for some reason, something got spent after the deadline, or someone neglected to request the funding in time or the reimbursement in time, which, you know, they're small amounts occasionally. That has to be raised on the recap as part of the tax rate, and that sits on that top line of other amounts. Then you have your cherry sheet offsets, your abatements and exemptions, which is the overlay that we talked about, that's on the recap. And then the other amounts are the Quabbin Health District and Pioneer Valley Planning Commission.
Okay.
Those are combined on that line. Other financing uses, prior year purposes will correspond to the that other page where it's to from general fund budgets. Capital special projects, current year special articles. I inserted BCTV there on that line. I'm still missing CUC, the expense, but I missed FY 23 or 22. Transfer to stabilization fund. To from other funds, that's the Cultural Council. Basically, if you look at FY 25, that was the opioid settlement funds that got put in the general fund and certified as free cash, and then we had to put them into a separate fund.
Where is this? Now, where is that?
Other financing uses.
Okay. Transfer to or from other funds? That's what you're
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's how much the Cultural Council gets usually, and then it's high here because there was the opioid settlement funds
Oh,
that
I
year.
get it. Okay.
154,442, I think. And then money going into OPEB trust is the final.
I'm just surprised at how low that is.
The OPEB?
No, the funding for all the stuff that we do in the community.
No, that's not what that is. You talking about the Cultural Council?
Yeah,
So that was-
4,000,
so-
4,500, 4,500.
We asked for that money when I was on the council
Yeah,
to supplement the,
State grants.
like it was for, yeah, so the state gives money, that isn't that money.
oh, okay.
Yes, that's separate
All right.
money
And then
that comes
there's-
from the
and then
budget.
there's, gift funding and things like that that
Yeah.
come through.
Oh, okay, so that's not the total budget, that's just what the
Yes.
town,
That's
okay,
just
because
what
that
the
makes
town-
That's
sense.
the budget.
That's right.
But from the budget, that's how much is given for their programming.
Yes.
Okay. And,
So that's plenty of information for you to chew on for the next, I don't know, 6 months. I didn't include enterprise CP because this is so much.
I'm going back to this again,
Okay.
even though it's a small amount. It was 4,000, 4,500, 4,500, then it went down to 3,500.
Yep.
And now it's 3,500 in 2026. So how do we lose $1,000 bucks?
Budget cuts.
Yeah.
Balancing
Okay.
budgets.
All right, that's it on that.
I have a question. Sure. I thought tonight was going to be a demonstration of the forecasting tool. So,
Yeah.
This is it.
This is it.
well, I know, but we're already in FY 26. So I thought we were talking about FY 27 forecasting.
So this doesn't really forecast.
The
It's
forecasting tool doesn't really, I don't mean to forecast.
Trust me, trust
Okay.
me. It
Why is it called the
it
forecasting?
will give you percentages, and I looked at the percentages before I printed this, and they were for the last like 10 years, and I don't think that's a valid way, because so many things have changed so much. So what we can get is an average percent increase over X number of years. I think the number of years is too long to be useful at this time.
I
was going
agree.
to play around with those formulas.
Are
Like
we
maybe
paying
3
for
to
this
5.
tool?
No.
It's free.
It's free from the DLS. My time doing it has not been free.
Right.
So the big problem, to answer your question, is that we had an override in the middle of this. So if you start looking at percentages, everything's skewed.
Yeah.
So
Right, I'm just trying
this
to
is just it's a tool for organizing data,
Okay.
so you can see and ask all the questions that you've asked. And then you can look at a percentage increase over 10 years or 20 years or whatever, but, you know.
It's not a
So
forecasting tool,
maybe,
though.
actually, I'm just gonna push back on that concept, because I think like what it does is it helps put the information into a way for the groups that need it for the next cycle to forecast the information moving
To
forward.
visualize it.
So I don't think it's a forecasting, may be like a disingenuous term. It's like a tool to use to forecast,
right.
not a
It does
tool
not
that will
Yes,
forecast.
I was highly disappointed.
Yes.
I did not know how it was going to forecast for us.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
in the way that you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in meetings where we are shown forecasts and they go through the formulas, and so I was waiting to see what this new one was.
And if I can just add on to that, I use forecasting tools
Yeah.
in my job, and please, I'm not blaming you at all for this. I know it was just a mistake, but like in my tools, if I forgot to enter dollars for PEG or something, the program would say, hey, wait a minute, you forgot this.
Clearly,
This is
they
just-
need to.
This is just an Excel sheet.
This is kind
Literally.
of stupid.
No, all right,
I mean,
okay,
it kind of
okay.
is. I know
You know
it's
what?
like-
It's- I think it is good for organizing data.
And it's good to visualize. As Jen mentioned, it helps you
I guess you get what you pay for. It's free.
I've
But-
been pushing on it because I feel like it is not as helpful as
the
I
hype.
think
It was
people
marketed.
thought it was going to
Yeah.
be.
I'm sorry I called it stupid.
It's
I just
okay.
I thought they were coming to us with their expertise. Hey Jill, here, at the end of the day,
Okay, all
you're
right.
the human who gets to kind of move numbers up or move numbers down. But I thought this was going to be a tool that says, Jill, here's your jumping off point. Now you decide if it should go up or down, and that's not at all what this
Was it
is.
worth
This
the
is
time you
spreadsheet.
spent on it?
Now we can analyze it. I mean, I feel like for me personally, it's
For me, I don't think, I've spent a lot of time on this.
Yeah.
Because I have other years. I just gave you this group of years. I have spent a lot in tweaking it and so on and so forth. We do have a lot of this information, already. However, it's not all in one place. This puts it all in one place and, clarifies probably, I'll ask Jen, I think you're more clear on certain items that we talk about all the time, and there's so much to finances,
Right.
governmental finances.
yeah, it's not an easy topic, and I think it helps structure it because it has that drill down capacity. So, like when you look at the income and expense, like if you don't.
This looks like
It helps.
almost any other budget I've looked at. I mean, it's just.
I mean, that's because that's what it is. But
Yeah.
I feel like having done this for a number of years, this is the first time it's been presented in this way, where the drill down, you can like really look through all of the pieces.
Which I think is
in a way.
fantastic.
Yeah. So
That
for
is-
that,
In that respect, I think,
Yeah.
I think that it's good for
It's
the powers
useful
that be
there.
to be able to really see it drawn out and over time.
But I think this is, to me, this gives me pause in thinking about the way we use DLS or other Collins Center or whomever, about being extremely clear about what it is that we are looking for, and having them say back this is what we hear. And if it doesn't mesh, then deciding whether or not we want to invest our employees' time into
This was on
projects.
goals and objectives for quite a long time.
Yep.
Yeah.
But this
So-
isn't what, all right.
So, yeah, so, you know, it's the same program that everybody in the state is
Right.
using, and I think the DLS, part of their focus is standardizing how communities are doing all this
Great.
stuff. But, you know, the thing is, Jill, our finance committee, you know, the department heads have been budgeting for so long
Yeah.
that the forecasting is intuitive to what they see.
Sure.
To Jen's point, it puts it all into one document, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
But what this doesn't do is it doesn't forecast based on, you know, economic trends, market
Right,
trends,
all of that.
you know, government, you know, rules and regulation changes. You know, like the health insurance industry probably takes some of that element into it.
Sure.
You know, where this is just strictly numbers. And anybody could sit down with a calculator and come up with the same number.
Right.
And, you know, the thing that upsets me a little bit is that Jill was using a tool through the DLS for forecasting. She worked with Jay Wellahan, our assessor, to put together these sheets that were on the DLS website, spent countless hours on it, and then the DLS came out with this, so this is a better version, and that data didn't transfer to this data.
Oh, that's frustrating.
That is frustrating.
I'm really sorry.
No, it's more than
So I've
that.
been really pleasant considering. No, I'm glad that it's helpful to you, but I'm going to tell you that it will not change the way that I'm looking at budgets and
And that's fair.
forecasting.
Absolutely.
It doesn't give you anything more.
It doesn't give me anything more, and honestly, it hasn't been broken.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done well.
I have a question.
Sure.
Are we going to incorporate this document into our tri-boards and budget season at all?
Oh, I would assume so.
That's, I'm going to leave that to your call.
What would be the
My only
downside?
pause, this
Yeah.
is my pause. What we just did with 4 people in this room,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
imagine it with 15.
The only reason I brought it up is because, you know, we're always talking about transparency among schools
Yeah.
in town.
Yeah.
I
felt
think
this
if
brings
we
a lot of
have, if
transparency.
we have this information, they should have this information.
And that's fine. I think what we should do, or my thought is that giving this out
Ahead of time.
ahead of
Yeah.
time,
Yes.
let people peruse, send me questions.
Right.
Great
Rather
idea.
than having, we'll have a 3-hour-long conversation about this if we
Oh, yeah.
present this to 15 individuals.
I mean, don't
Speaking
you
of which,
agree,
we're at the
like-
1 hour mark.
Yeah, don't you agree, though, sending questions ahead of time, having you address them?
Yes.
I think that would be more efficient.
Yeah. Steve, do you agree?
Absolutely.
All right, so maybe that can, I mean, the tri-board meeting is coming right up. So.
I know.
December what?
Isn't the 18th?
16th. It's the night before I leave.
The night before you leave.
That's why I know the date.
Oh, that week is going to be so
So I
busy.
don't know, maybe next week or something. All right. Thank you so much, Jill.
Thank you, truly.
Thanks, Jim.
If you come up with questions, just email me, please.
Okay.
I'm happy to answer whatever.
Thank you.
Good job, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to do a stretch break while she stretches.
Okay, under discussion action items, the first one, public policy, what is the role of the select board regarding federal matters? Tonight, we are going to take no action. It was a holiday. We didn't get time to sit down and put something together, so we're going to keep that.
Sure.
Steve?
Sure, so 6B, we have another request from our HR director to vote to designate another list of employees as special municipal employees. Joanne worked with council on this. After the last meeting, another conflict came up that we were made aware of. And after consultation with council, the recommendation is that we should just go through the list of committees and boards and vote everybody that hasn't already been voted to avoid future conflicts. There was some thought that it only affected paid positions, but it's everybody. So I support that recommendation and would like to see the whole list approved.
Jen?
Sorry, I missed the conversation
Oh,
last
sure.
time. And this has come up multiple times since I've been on the board. So I'm curious because the board's stance in previous historical versions of this board has been that in a town of almost 15,000 people that we shouldn't be allowing this as a practice. So I'm curious why the change, mainly because I think my understanding of this topic, especially because there was the cultural council wanted to be special municipal employees years ago, and so they advocated greatly to be, and they were told no because of this reason. So what was said was that if you're like in a small community, people have to be on multiple boards because the pool of recruitment is smaller. So I'm very curious, and I understand that council's been involved, but, so anyways, that's my question, because I wasn't part of the previous conversation, so I have no idea.
I guess I wasn't here during those conversations.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is that we have had an advertisement out to fill
Yes.
committee vacancies for
Yes.
3 years, and we still have
Yeah.
many, many vacancies that we're unable to fill. And that's what's generating this interest. We have a lot of people that are on multiple committees.
I know we do.
And without this vote, they could be in conflict, and probably are. So that's why we want to get it done.
Correct me if I'm wrong, the way that I at least interpreted it was more around sports teams and being able to have multiple types of roles.
It was
so not just
originally.
committee work.
Correct.
It's expanded.
Yes. After the last meeting and the last discussion, it was brought to our attention that there was another conflict. And when we went back to council, they agreed. The Ethics Commission agreed. And both the Ethics Commission informed this individual that it would be best if the town just voted all boards and committees. That's what most towns do when they're over 10,000 people, because that's the threshold. And council supported that recommendation. So that's where we're at. So.
I have a question. So we know that it's difficult to get people on committees. Is it really that difficult to get people to fill these part-time positions that are fully paid?
It doesn't matter.
So you're saying this includes intercommittee?
People on
I heard
multiple
you say that
committees,
earlier.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
But from the special employee perspective, that's not where the issue is. It's getting the participation on the committees. That's the issue?
That is the issue, yes. So we want to allow people to be on more than one committee. And if there's a committee that you're concerned about, for some reason, you could just take it off the list. You don't have to vote the list verbatim, but I would recommend that you do.
Yeah, I actually do have a concern, and I kind of wanted to hear from you all, and possibly even our clerk as well, regarding Board of Assessors. If you look down the list, we don't have FinCom, Select Board. I believe there's some other committees that are not on there as well. I'm really I'm concerned about anyone in that position, keeping neutrality, having impartial judgment, and I also don't like the optics of it from a town perspective to see someone on the assessor's board, which is an elected position, a paid elected position. I believe they're making about $17 and some cents an hour.
Is that true? It's a paid position?
No, the Board of Assessors is an elected body, and they receive a $1,000 stipend every year. They're authorized to hire themselves, but they never do. So if they had some reason, like a hearing or something, and they had to do some investigation, they can be paid, but they never do that. Under Mass General Law 268A, select board members are not allowed to be special municipal employees. The Finance Committee already has that designation. That's why it's not on your list tonight.
Yeah, I'm not comfortable with the optics of it, so I would like to either table this and get our clerk's input on this, or move that we strike the Board of Assessors from this list.
I'd like to hear what Terry has to say on this as well. And I think I asked for this, but if I didn't, I'm definitely asking now. If you could send out what the Mass General Law is to the Select Board.
It's right here, 268A, right at the top of the page. So we have to vote on this tonight because we have a conflict and people are going to be dropping from committees tomorrow morning. So if you want to strike the assessors for the time being, you can do that.
May I ask a question too? And this may have been covered last time. School committee members, are they special municipal employees?
I don't remember if they are already on the list. I can get there are some committees that are not on here because they're already designated.
Yeah.
These are the ones that have not been designated.
Okay.
So I would have to look at that list to see if they're currently.
Select
Mass
Board,
Gen-
yeah.
oh, go ahead.
Oh, and Select Board cannot be on this list just because of the nature of our role?
Under Mass General Law, I don't know why that decision was made.
Right, because it's obviously not related to stipend, because Board of Assessors receives a small stipend.
Right. I can try to
I
look
don't
it
feel
up.
comfortable voting on this tonight.
Ma'am,
That's just me.
one of the reasons it's on the list for tonight is when I joined the agriculture, or the Animal Control Review Board, I did, subject to being a special employee. I thought that had been taken care of, and it hasn't. If you don't vote this, I'm off that board tomorrow morning. I've got 2 hearings scheduled for Thursday. You're going to do them without me.
If we did take this up tonight, Lisa, is there any other committee on that list that you have a concern about, other than assessor?
What I'm looking for is conflicts of interest. And
Well, that says here explicitly that that's separate, right?
It is
If there's a
separate.
conflict of interest, then that would exclude you from being on multiple committees.
right,
But for me, Board of Assessors is inherently a conflict of interest, just because of the financial.
the Capital Improvement Planning Committee.
Yeah, taxation aid maybe.
Is there a limitation on how many committees someone can be on? Not necessarily. If we do this, then they could be on as many as they want.
Well, I mean, I already know of one individual who's on several of these committees
Yeah, I
already.
can think of someone also.
Probably the same person.
Probably.
What I'd rather do is know who else is in the same boat. That tomorrow morning they're gonna,
I don't have that list. Not-
okay,
not with
well,
me.
I'm comfortable with this one because I know about it. But I don't want to just say, okay, yeah, everybody, I want to look at this more.
Okay. So what I can do is I can line up council to be available for a meeting to
No,
discuss
but
this
I
with the
don't
board.
think I need counsel. What I need is, what are the potential conflicts of interest? That's what I,
Well, you have existing and you have future, and I can't predict future. Again, we're having trouble filling committees.
but
That's the problem.
I hear that, but I also hear, is that because there's nobody interested, because they're just not interested, or is it because it's not a great volunteer position? If it's a great volunteer position, we tend to have people who line up. The Fair Committee is a great example. I mean, tons of people volunteer for that. If there are volunteer opportunities that have been on for 3 years and no one has filled it, that's not about the people of Belchertown. That's about the volunteer position. So I want to be careful about just jumping to the conclusion that if someone's not doing it, it's because they don't care, you know?
And we are going to be in the future talking about how we can condense
Right.
We've talked about that before, and I think maybe that's something we need to do sooner rather than later. I think for tonight, could we make a motion that we just have Animal Control Advisory Board made into a special?
At a minimum, that's what has to happen, yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
if there's anybody else,
That's
I
what
want to
I'm
know.
asking.
I want to know who
Yeah.
it is so that we can accommodate.
Well, again, I'm not going to try to speculate because it does come down to what the Ethics Commission would recommend. That's why we're trying to cover this, so that they don't have to worry about that end of things.
Okay. The way
So I
you
don't know
worded
who,
it-
I don't know who needs to present this to the board, so it makes sense. I think council would be the right choice. I don't, because it doesn't matter who the
I don't want to
people
spend
are.
it on on council.
But what you're not hearing is it doesn't matter who the individual is. It's the concept in general.
I agree.
So-
I'm not talking about any individuals.
But I can, well, you asked for a list of who has
The
a
reason that
conflict.
I want to know is so that we can make these approvals as a Band-Aid right now until we
Yes.
figure out how we're going to move as an umbrella moving forward.
The Animal Control Advisory Board would be tonight's, at a minimum.
So
Yeah.
I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about committees, what potential conflicts of interest are with these committees. If somebody is on, I don't know, if someone is on the BCC that gives out money for events, would it be a conflict of interest that they also serve on a committee that those funds would be supporting?
Yeah, they would have to disclose it and
This is
recuse
what I
themselves
mean.
from
I'm not
anything,
talking
right.
personal, I don't care. What I care about is, people getting an unfair advantage because they're on, the giving and receiving line. And that's why I need, wait a minute.
If I could make just one more comment.
Yes.
You're trying to police the ethics here. That's the job of the State Ethics Commission. People can still be appointed to boards and commissions and committees and be responsible for reporting themselves to the State Ethics Committee and ironing out any conflicts they have and then removing themselves from those specific items. If you think that you're going to be the policeman for all of this, you're going to involve yourself in immeasurable a number of items, which will never end, because as Steve was just saying, well, there's a conflict today or is it a conflict tomorrow? Other towns, an example would be Amherst. Do you realize that they've declared the entire town to be special town committees for participation on commissions and boards and committees?
No, we've not been informed of that.
Well, they do. Now, how can Amherst, which is a much bigger town than ours,
Right.
have a blanket so they can get people to participate on their committees, but here you want to, basically micromanage every committee and try to figure out, well, what could this person possibly have a conflict on? I think that that's something that really needs to be in the hands of the State Ethics Committee and the individual responsibility of the people that are involved to put themselves before the committee and receive advice when they think they're going to have a conflict and then act accordingly. I don't really
You
think
make a
that's
very-
your responsibility.
Yeah, you make a very good point, and, micromanaging and police officer are not words that I'd like to be associated with myself. It is an uncomfortability with signing off on something that I don't know enough about. And I think that's fair.
Well, and that's why I think it would be worth a half
So
an
I'm
hour
not
of
going to
council's
vote
time.
just because it's
Yeah.
like, well, this town's doing it and this one's doing it. It's like, when I get the information I need to make an informed decision, I'm happy to. But this one, I'm not as informed as I need to be.
Okay. Yeah, and that's why I think it would be worth a half an hour of council's time to really dig into this so you can ask those deep
Yeah.
questions. I know it's money, but it's worth it in the end. So tonight, if we can at least get through Animal Control Advisory Board, then we can work on setting up another time to kind of go over this.
Yeah, I don't know about council yet. I want to talk to a couple of other towns as well. and I want to have questions ready, so.
Sure. Yeah, it doesn't have to be next meeting. It
Yeah.
could be January or
Yeah.
whatever.
But I understand the intent, and it's good. I just need to
Yeah.
get more informed.
I don't want to belabor it, but I'm just thinking about all the other meetings taking place this week, 'cause there's so many. But just another example is if someone's sitting on a committee, but they are also a town full-time employee, are they currently going to be in conflict of interest if this doesn't pass tonight?
I would suggest most employees have already consulted with the Ethics Commission and have disclosures on file and probably recuse themselves if there's
Okay.
any direct involvement, so I think
Right.
they're okay.
So then we don't
I
need to
don't know where
worry
all the
about them.
conflicts are,
Right.
but,
Sure.
last meeting and this meeting, people watch these meetings and they start, light bulbs start going off in their head, and then, if there's problems, then,
Yeah. And
I'm
yeah.
also looking at past boards,
Right.
the select boards, who have not done this. And so that also gives me pause. It's like, okay, well, why didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
So, just want to be mindful.
Jen, do you have anything else to contribute with all of your wisdom and time served?
No other comment at this time.
Okay, but we do
What
need to
is
vote
your
on this.
position on it? Because when you first came out, I thought I heard you say that you want us to continue to hold up what has been decided upon in the past.
I didn't say that that was necessarily right. What I'm saying is that was the board's position at the time, and it impacted decisions that were made historically. And so for me to see this huge list of committees it threw me for a loop. That's all. That's because it has always, when it's come up previously, been very adamantly spoken against. So I just didn't understand why all of a sudden it was oh, this is fine and we could do it to all of the committees.
Yeah.
But I don't, again,
So we should learn about what the historical argument was, and also talk to some other towns, and then revisit this. Okay?
You want me to make the motion for animal
Sure.
control?
Yep.
I move that we approve members of the Animal Control Advisory Board to serve as special municipal employees under MGL Chapter 268A, Section 1N.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. 6C, we have another right of first refusal for the Fry property off of Cold Spring Street. Both the Planning Board and Conservation Commission have recommended that we not exercise our right to the first refusal, so if the board can vote to not exercise their right of first refusal. And just keep in mind that one member of the select board will have to stop at the Finnerty House to have their signature notarized on the form.
I think Dan brought his notary tonight.
Oh, okay, great. I didn't want to hold up the meeting for that, but that's okay.
We can do it at the end, right?
Yeah.
Anyone want to talk about this?
I think this is the last piece of their parcel that they are doing this.
I think so.
Because they've been parceling off their parcel that they've inherited over the years. This has come up before. So I make a motion that we do not exercise our right of first refusal on parcel known as Assessor's Map 260, Lot 34.
That's what I have, 34.9. Excuse me. Yep. Map 260, lot 34.
Map 260, Lot 34.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
And 6D is also a right of first refusal for Line Quabbin LLC. This is to address a property encroachment for a driveway. The Planning Board and Conservation Commission again have voted to recommend that the select board not exercise the right of first refusal, so yeah, if you can.
I move that we, oh, sorry.
Oh, do you want to talk about it at all, Steve?
Other than what I just said, no.
Yeah, okay. Anybody have any questions?
The only thing I was thinking about with it is, and it doesn't even make financial sense, because I was thinking, you know, all these acres we're putting into conservation and handing over to Kestrel Trust, but if this is already kind of part of their property because they're encroaching on it and we have the ability to make additional property tax, then that kind of makes sense to me, so I don't see why we wouldn't.
Okay.
Right. I move that we do not exercise our right to purchase .42 acres from Lime Quabbin LLC on map 25, lot 17.
Second.
Second, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Great.
All right, 6E. This is an annual vote that the board takes. The information's on page 42. And this is specific to our Class 3 dealer license. We only have one in town. It's Westover Auto Salvage, or P&T Enterprise. This is for salvage and used auto parts. A public hearing is required, but can be waived by the select board. This has been done every year for many years. We don't have anybody complaining or any concerns about Westover Auto Salvage. They do a very clean business down there. The abutters are all industrial properties, Universal Forest Products, the towing company that's right there. So there's never been any problems with it. So I'd recommend the board vote to waive the Class 3 hearing.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I move we vote to waive the hearing for Class 3 liquor, Class 3 license.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving right along. 6F, vote to renew liquor licenses and endorse certification form. The certification form is not ready.
Okay.
That's a form that we submit every year to ABCC, and it certifies that all of our establishments are fully licensed. We still have one outstanding liquor license. If it is not ready by December 15th, we will vote to submit that certification form to the state, and they'll have to reapply.
Okay.
So you can vote on the rest of the liquor licenses that are in your packet tonight.
I don't think we have any, do
I
we?
don't think they're in our.
No.
They're in the to be signed folder. I'm sorry. Yep.
So why don't I just,
We could blanket it, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to do one by one.
And they're all in good standing and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why they're there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their insurance has been submitted, their bonds, everything's there.
Great.
so I make a motion that we endorse the common trawlers licenses for Andres on the Common. Should I name all these?
No, that's, those aren't the right ones.
Oh, sorry, I have it. Okay, I move that we endorse.
That's next.
Okay, I'm not gonna name all these, there's like 20 of them.
Yeah.
Can I just say the packet?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ones that are in the packet, sure.
Okay. I move that we endorse the license of alcoholic beverages for the businesses in this factory right here.
Should we say the names?
No, we shouldn't say the names.
Okay.
But you should say for 2026.
For 2026. I move that we approve the license for alcoholic beverages for 2026 for all of the businesses in this packet that I'm holding in my hand.
Do I hear a second?
A second.
Further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 6G is to begin endorsing 2026 licenses. This is your public entertainment license, your live entertainment, your common vic. Those are all included in there. So those are the other packets of licenses. Did I get them all?
So I've got common victualers. Are we doing or used car dealer yet, or no?
Yep, class 1,
Yep.
2,
Public
3.
entertainment, okay. Right, I make a motion that we approve for 2026 the following licenses for common victualers license, used car dealers license, license for public entertainment of Sunday, on Sunday?
Sunday licenses.
Sunday licenses, yep.
Okay. And amusement device licenses for all of the businesses of the Patterson Holding.
Second.
Okay, further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna, on these right of your first refusals, I'm gonna have everybody here sign tonight and then have John go in, because he's in the area most and have.
Yeah.
Or we can just have, or we can have Dan notarize and then John can just go in and sign whenever.
Well, you don't need all 5, as long as you got a majority.
Right, so we'll have Dan notarize tonight then?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
We
let's
can
just do it
sign
now.
while we keep going, right?
6H is the health insurance update, and then town manager's reports next, so while you're signing stuff, I can go through all of that. I don't have a lot on health insurance. It's December 1st, so the November financials aren't available yet.
Okay.
The Insurance Advisory Committee and the Executive Committee have been meeting regularly. Most recently, they have chosen a consultant to take the helm while Joe Shea retired.
Right.
While they work through a process to replace Joe Shea, they will have a consultant at least through June 30th, maybe longer, depending on what that arrangement looks like and what the recommendations are from the consultant. It's the HILB group. I don't know where they're out of, but there was a very extensive vetting process that included interviews of about a half a dozen different consultants. The executive committee made a recommendation of, or forwarded 2 names to the Insurance Advisory Committee. The Insurance Advisory Committee took a few weeks to go over both of those proposals very carefully and finally voted on the HILB group. So that happened last week. That afternoon, the vote, the same day as the vote, the HILB group did meet with the executive committee to start going over the tasks at hand. So they're hitting the ground running.
Can I just make a comment? So the Hill Group is out of somewhere in New England. I think they're headquartered in Rhode Island, but they're an excellent firm.
I was just going to ask. you.
Excellent firm.
Good.
Yeah, and I feel like they blew the other firm out of the water.
Yeah, I believe you're
And
right.
Joanne felt really good about them as well? Good.
Yeah, she was a very strong supporter and spoke at the meetings
Oh, good.
on their behalf, yeah.
Excellent.
And I've been attending those meetings. That's in, we're up to item 7, town manager's report.
Okay, great.
So I will get to that in a second. I endorsed warrants. The Firefighters Association, their contract is up at the end of FY26, so we had our first negotiating session. We have set our ground rules, and over the next 3 sessions will be discovery. So I will be setting up an executive session to talk to the board probably after the first session, so that we can go over what they're looking for and what we need to counter with.
What is the tenor?
Well, the first session's always friendly. But no, I do enjoy working with all of the unions that we have. They're all very respectful and professional, so I think we're going to have, a good
It's going to be
series.
productive. Good.
Steve, for my own edification, usually in bargaining negotiations, is there a select board member present, or do we just wait to receive?
There used to be 2 select board members that did it, but that was when we had an administrator.
Right.
Now that Steve is the town manager, Steve's handling that.
So we have, the negotiating team for the town is Joanne, myself, and the chief. We'll bring in counsel as needed for questions, or if any of the unions decide that they're going to have counsel negotiate on their behalf, we'll bring counsel in for that. And then the contracts are vetted by the select board. They have to be ratified by the select board. So, there's a little bit of separation there, but you still have control over the contract.
Okay, thanks.
Let's see. I did attend a grant coordination meeting. We did receive a grant to design the Tagile roof, so we did have a kickoff meeting on that. I met with some residents from the Housing Authority with some concerns, myself and the chair, and we are still doing our best to assist with those concerns.
Are you able to elaborate on that, or is that sensitive?
That's sensitive information, yeah. But I would like to point out that we are looking for a member for the Housing Authority. The Housing Authority is an elected body. 3 members are elected from the general public. 1 member is elected from the Housing Authority itself. And the 5th member is a governor's appointee. And we do not have a governor's appointee at this time. It's been vacant for many, many years. If you know somebody that would wish to volunteer their time to be on the Housing Authority.
And Steve, what kind of experience do they have to have?
Well, human services would be helpful, elder services, people who work with individuals with disabilities, people who work with housing.
And you were going to reach out to Jessica?
Yeah, I'm going to reach out to the senior center to see if there's anybody there, but it would be good to get that board filled. I think right now they have 3 and sometimes 4 members, depending on how that goes. So that's why it's on here, because I do want to bring that up. But no, we can't talk about the particulars of the concerns. I did attend the Amherst Area Chamber of Commerce Awards ceremony. I'll let you talk about that. I did meet with the Department of Environmental Protection, our Health Department Inspector, and our Zoning Enforcement Officer regarding the noise complaint at 9 North Main Street. I will tell you that the Department of Environmental Protection loaned the town a decibel meter. The Board of Health and Building Inspector conducted 4 tests now. They need to do a daytime test and a nighttime test. So the nighttime test has been happening at 2 o'clock in the morning. The daytime tests, the first round revealed that the complaint about the compressor is valid. It is above the allowable limit. It was confirmed at night. The DEP read the results and agreed with them. A repair order, or an order to rectify, was issued by the Board of Health. We gave them 10 days. DEP recommended 30, but we wanted to get their attention because the neighbor that's complaining is in distress.
Right.
That 10 days expired Friday. The building inspector did talk to the service company that's involved with this equipment, and they do have parts coming and expect to be there this week.
Oh, good.
So we're going to give them another 10 days, and hopefully that solves the problem. They've already done some work, and there was a retest, again, daytime and nighttime. It did improve, but not to where it needed to be. So we're hoping that this next measure will solve the problem. But we are taking it very seriously. It's not something that we're taking lightly, and it's a very complicated and lengthy process. The DEP advised us that oftentimes it takes 6 months or more to get these things in compliance.
Is the business owner being cooperative?
He is now, yes, and that's, the reason why we really wanted to make sure we didn't have any missteps, because, if for some reason he didn't want to be cooperative, then we would have, some legal ground to stand on, but he's been fine.
That's great. Thank you for your work on that.
Well, I haven't been there at 2 o'clock, so I'll pass it. I'll pass it along to Paul.
And that's above and beyond.
Yes, it is. Where was I here? Oh, I attended the November 17th meeting with the EDAC. I have been attending the, it should be IAC meetings, the Insurance Advisory Committee meetings. We had one November 18th, the 20th, and the 25th. I met with the Collins Center to discuss the formation of a government study committee. I'm going to be having a follow-up conversation with the chair in the Collins Center to talk about that a little bit further, to see what that looks like, and we'll report back hopefully in January. I did conduct a department heads meeting. The big announcement at the department heads meeting is that budgets are due January 15th, so that we can start to work on the FY27 numbers. So you saw today, all the background work that's going into that.
How far are we, when were they due last year?
They were due towards the end of December last year, so we're
about 2 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks, yeah. I purposefully held off because of the health insurance, and I wanted to make sure that was covered. And quite honestly, I think the January timeframe works a little bit better anyways.
I think so too. People have just that little more.
Well, that and the governor's budgets aren't available till
that's true.
January anyways, and we don't, so we get these numbers from our department heads and we can't do anything with them really until we see the governor's numbers, and that's typically what we use as the benchmark for our budgeting going forward. And then I did attend a Sports Haven Homeowners Association meeting. I followed up today. I sent out some information to all the board members. That was a result of that meeting.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I'm sorry to backtrack. I didn't hear it. You said the Collins Center meeting. So you said at some point we'll get to hear from them, or we'll know what the next steps
Yeah,
look like?
they are more than willing to come in and talk to the board about, what the expectations are of a government study committee. But I think until the chair and I are going to sit down and kind of frame what we know so that they can be prepared.
Sure.
And, getting expectations from folks on what they'd like to see would be very helpful.
Sure. Will you reach out to us individually, or should we reach out to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, well, review of weekly mail. I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, well, I'm busy signing, so
We can always
where am I? Anybody have any comments on the weekly mail?
I just want to acknowledge the letter from the Amherst Town Manager thanking the Belchertown employees, specifically our first responders. Just a quick quote from them: for their dedication, skill, and preparedness, and that Amherst, quote unquote, always stands ready to assist should Belchertown ever have its own time of need as it relates to the fire in Amherst. There were 236 residents displaced in that fire, with no loss of human life or injuries.
Which is just a miracle. I wanted to bring up first of all, John Wellahan's retiring after 28 years of service. And so that's a huge accomplishment. He gave, so much of his life to this town, and I think would be remiss in not saying congratulations, and we wish him well in the next chapter. He's not leaving right now. When is his last day?
March.
Yeah, so it's in March, so we'll still have time, but I did want to recognize that. And also the Mass Central Rail Trail Alliance. They were awarded $1.3 million in seven grants that would fund projects all along the rail trail. And that's fantastic. You know, I can't wait till it comes to town. And so I just want to recognize that as well.
Didn't we get one of those?
Um,
No, Trestle Bridge is.
We did get a trestle bridge grant of $86,000 to repair the trestle bridge, and we just recently received a legislative earmark for $25,000 to help with the design of the segment in the center of town.
For the railroad study?
The railroad portion of that, yes. And then there's another grant, a regional grant floating around that may provide money to hire a regional facilitator.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, and that's something that's just in the beginning phases now, so.
I mean, these are all great signs, you know? With budgets getting slashed everywhere, it's nice to see this is still moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions from the press? I don't think she's on.
No,
All right,
looks like she's done.
Member reports?
Are you still signing still? I can.
Yeah, but I can pause. We'll go on.
Nicole, you're done signing. Why don't you go first?
I just have two. November 18th, I attended the Amherst Area Chamber of Commerce A+ Awards dinner in honor of one of the members of Belchertown, Sarah Maroney. And then November 21st, I donated my time serving the Thanksgiving lunch at the senior center. If anybody else is interested, on, I believe it's December 19th, they're going to be serving the holiday lunch at the senior center. If anybody is interested in donating their time, I had fun doing it that day. So if anybody's interested, let me know.
Oh, yeah. I might be able to go with you. That'd be nice.
Jen?
So I missed the last meeting. I just want to mention on the 14th, I went out to Mass MoGA for the Western Mass Arts Economic Impact Summit, which was really interesting. And I think it'd be more impactful if they did more advocacy groups, advocacy with municipalities directly instead of getting a bunch of people who already know what they're talking about, what the impact that arts already have.
You're here.
So I talked to Mass Creative Executive Director, and she was like, yeah, we can't advocate, but you can. So I was like, that's great.
Well, what were the key takeaways?
I mean, they were talking about, you know, they addressed housing, they addressed like climate and sustainability. I mean, but the big takeaway is the impact that arts and culture have as a real economic impact on, you know, on communities, and how, you know, when people talk about the arts, you know, it's not just some poof, right? Like, it's not, you know, like people, you know, it's the first thing that people talk about getting cut in schools and all of those, but those are real economic drivers. And so that was, you know, it's empowering when you're speaking to a room full of people and everyone's shaking their head, but it's how do you get to the people who don't really understand exactly what that means and how it impacts communities as an economic driver. So,
And her response was, that's up to you to figure out?
well, no. She said we as myself as an elected local official can advocate with the MMA.
Okay.
She does arts, right? It's different, like group, right? It's like stay in your lane. Like you can advocate for that kind of work. So perhaps in the new year I'll entertain thinking more about that idea and that concept. Yes, Sarah Maroney got awarded the Community Service Award, and that was really impactful because as a backup to the event I went to on Friday, it was amazing to see the work that Sarah and others have done in this community in the arts and cultural sector to kind of drive our community forward. And so that was really powerful to see that, you know, not just her getting the recognition, but for our community in general and all of the work that's been done in that arena. So that was really great.
Well said.
Speaking of which, Winter Light Night was this past weekend on Saturday, and that is always a great, well-attended event. It's so dark. I didn't know that you were there. I didn't know that you were there. Like, I didn't know who was there. You know, it's so dark on that common until they actually put the lights on. But the artisan market was great and everything. I did also go to the winter market at Jabesh. I love that continues at least partially throughout the year in the winter time. And there was one other thing, I can't remember what it was. Let me see really quickly. I'm sorry I missed everybody last time. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just a bunch of like figuring out what comes next, kind of conversations with all of the things.
Not to interrupt, you're done.
Yeah, I'm mentally running through the list of things in my head.
Well, I'm going to Whitney, and if there's something else, we'll go back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Whitney?
My news is their news. My only contribution would be I also attended the A+ Awards on the 18th, and the video that they produced was beautiful, and it just really encapsulates all of the great work that's being done in this town. And we had, how many, 15 people from the town come to show
They almost
support
filled
of
2
Sarah.
tables.
It was incredible. So those videos are available on the Amherst Area Chamber page, and I think they've been shared also by our town communications committee. I think they hasn't it?
Oh,
Was it on the
It's
town
beautiful.
website?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They
You
might
saw
have
those through there.
shared
That's
it,
great.
but yeah, they did put it up. But yes, that was that it?
Go back
Are
to you.
Go.
Yes. On the 14th, first night of Hanukkah, you're all invited.
Yeah.
I'm throwing a party for the community. It's not me as a select board member. I'm just having the Jews of Belchertown come.
And their
If you're
friends.
Jewish, if you're not Jewish, come and check it out. It's just going to be a community menorah lighting, so people will bring the menorahs, and there'll be dreidels, and we'll have some sort of food, not latkes, because they don't
we bring
transport
menorahs
very
with
well.
us?
If you have a menorah, bring it. If you don't have one, I was trying to do like a make your own menorah kind of activity, but everyone was like, "That's a lot of work, Jen." So we're not going to do that, but we will have dreidels. We will have gelt. We will play a dreidel.
Make your menorahs with Play-Doh.
Love it.
You could do that. I mean, you can literally make a menorah out of anything. So, but if you don't have one, you can definitely share. I'm sure there'll be extras, and I have lots of extra candles and sorts of stuff. So 14th at the rec center from 4:30 to 6.
I'll be there. Whitney, was there?
The last of it was just I also attended Winter Light Night. It's just a fantastic event. I think I saw and tried everything that day. That was lovely. And my mother is in town visiting, so I got to take her too, and that was nice. Yeah. And then John and I are exchanging emails, and we'll be meeting to work on the food truck policy a little bit more. And the last thing, I'm never sure if this is the right time to ask this question, but I do get the newsletters from Jake Oliveira. You all probably do too.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably more coming at a future meeting, but I did see that the cannabis delivery laws are going to be coming down to the towns.
Yes,
So I'm curious
that's
about
gonna
we
be
in the
on
future.
the agenda.
Okay.
For
That was the first
the
I had
next
heard
meeting.
about this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know if it'd
Discuss
be,
it or vote on it.
apparently to vote on it.
Yeah, to vote on
but it was
it.
the first I'd even heard of it.
Yeah, we
was
can
reading
opt out.
Jake's newsletter.
yeah, so we'll need to vote to opt out or allow it to take place.
But we're not going to deliberate.
No, but I
tonight.
was just thinking that's definitely something we should all have time to think and learn and read about before we do discuss.
Just me and Leah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's it.
Great. Well, I also went to the awards dinner, What Hasn't Been Said. Sarah Maroney rocks. And like Jen said, it was not only a great moment for her. She really does need to be celebrated. So many of our volunteers do. But also that Belchertown was representing. And that felt really great. Steve and I went to the Cold Spring Pathfinder check signing ceremony for $100,000 to kick off this new partnership. And I also met with constituents regarding housing authority concerns. I went to Winter Light Night, first time, so it was wonderful, and it was just really magical. If you haven't gone, go to this. It's great. I do have a concern about how dark it is, especially with the little
Oh,
kids running around.
they're addressing that for next
But,
year. That's on their list.
But
of things to
I don't
fix.
want to. I don't want to complain. I just want to say it was a fantastic event, and to the people who put it on, kudos. It was really well done. And I joined Nicole and John in serving Thanksgiving dinner at the senior center. It was great. I put my college days waitressing skills. They just came out naturally.
I had 17,000 steps that day.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we
we
really
worked hard.
we
Wow,
hustled.
good for you.
But
Thank you for
the
doing
people
Yeah.
were so happy and grateful, and they didn't need to be grateful. I mean, it was a pleasure serving them, and I really hope to be there for the Christmas one as well. And Jessica recognized select board members there, so if we could try to do it as a group, that would be great. But I also understand that we all have things to do. But it really is rewarding, and I think that's it.
Nice.
So,
Oh. no
do I hear
executive session.
a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
8:50.